I don't know.
Pat,
What
I
else
don't
you do
care.
but
Pat,
laugh.
Mully, I don't care. We won.
That was absolutely extraordinary. The series of events that had to occur at the end of that game. I mean, go Il Papa. Yeah. The Pope's is a football fan. There had to be some divine intervention of some sort there. Holy God, that was extraordinary.
Beat up, man. Beat up for 3 or more quarters, right? And just keep fighting. This team finds a way to win. Cairo keeps him in the game with his kicks. How he makes those kicks with that win, I'll let Pat Mannelly talk
Wow.
about that. The throw at the end of the game, recovering the onside kick, special teams comes up huge. Defense at the end of the game gets the stops, the fumble snap. I mean, you got to go back through that game to even find what happens. Chicago, the city, deserves that win. I understand what it looked like, but what it ended up like, 11-4 on top of the NFC North. Let's go get it.
11 wins, Pat.
Yeah, well,
Playoff
Pat,
appearance.
he's probably drinking already. He's excited about
I
it.
think he's weeping.
Yeah, he's
I'm
on the
not
bridge
sure.
that Grote was talking about. He's on the bridge and then he's enjoying it with these fans. And when he checks in with us, he'll be ready to go and talk about this. But hey, man, this team has showed us this all year, right? And it was ugly for most of the game, Mully, and disappointing.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and it started from the 4th and 1 call on the goal line when they got
Yeah.
stopped. It seemed like they took all the momentum out of the Chicago Bears, but then it ended with a beautiful pass from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore, makes the catch with the defender draped all over his back. Probably there a little early too. Still comes down with that football. The only receiver we said that was healthy that day. The onside kick recovery. This team just keeps fighting. The guts that they show throughout a game and the belief that they show that they can find a way to win a football game that it looked like they couldn't get anything right, Mully? They couldn't get off the field for the Packers. I don't know what the time of possession ends up being during that game, but it wasn't good for the Bears. The backup quarterback, Malik, comes in, and the Packers have all backup defenders, and they're shutting the Bears offense down. And these Bears, man, they just keep fighting. They keep fighting. They keep finding ways to win football games that almost seem impossible. And the fans, you're watching them on TV, they deserve that win against the Packers. Credit to the Chicago Bears for fighting their butts off to find a way to win a game where they look terrible most of the game.
Patrick.
Oh. Sorry, I got lost.
I don't blame you. We were all lost, Pat.
Oh, and I was still celebrating, man. I had a whole.
No, I
like,
don't blame you,
2-second
man. I don't. Hey, listen, I wish I was with you.
No, I didn't get lost. I went to the wrong line, man. But what an unbelievable game, guys. And I heard you, Olin. It's just so much to talk about. But the big thing to me, guys, I just wrote the word belief. This whole season, they've talked about that. They've won these close games, and they believe they can come back and win games at the end of the games. They were down 16-6 with 5 minutes to go. You're sitting here writing your notes. I talk about it all the time, writing your notes after the game, towards the end of the game, and where your narrative's going is, the D-line's getting blown off, all the penalties, the emotions at the beginning of the game, the personal fouls, all that kind of stuff. They didn't show up to play. They got beat up front. The backup quarterback comes in and beat them. All this stuff. But the thing is, they believe and they got it done. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like everything fell their way, right? But they made it happen. And it starts with belief and the no quit, and they got it done. I can't believe it. This is a game Chicago will not forget for a while because there was a lot on this.
Wow.
There was a whole lot on this. First year of Ben
Yeah.
Johnson, expecting a lot out of this game. I said they were going to be a 10-digit win. I didn't think they'd be down by 10 in the fourth quarter, but
Right.
man, oh man, what a game. And just how exciting is that, and good for that team. Happy for them. And Olin, I think you said you're happy for the city, and so am I. They deserve it. And go on and celebrate for the rest of the night.
That is as unlikely an outcome as I've ever seen from a football game. All of the things that Olin was just rattling off there that had to happen to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who texted me and said, wow, I guess they really showed who they are tonight because they're down 10. And
he was
honest to
right,
God,
Mully.
Yes,
He was
right.
they did. That's exactly
Showed.
where I was going. You are so right, Olin.
Yep.
That is, they showed us that they have this extraordinary self-belief that they somehow pulled out a game that they had no business. They had no business of trailing in, frankly, without Micah Parsons and Evan Williams and Zach Tom to start the game. And then you knock out the starting quarterback. I mean, how would we have felt if they had come out, if we were sitting here lamenting a lost opportunity? It's extraordinary that they won that game. It is a glorious outcome. Anybody who is from Chicago, anybody who has ever been a Bear fan, rejoice. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, guys.
Usually when you go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just sorry, man. I'm still all excited.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
I'm happy for Caleb, man. Just another thing that Caleb's done to kind of prove to us that he's a good quarterback, man. He pulled the game out in the end.
Ja'Day Walker. Did you have him in the pool?
No, that throw to him is ridiculous. I mean, the throw he made there, the throw he made to DJ, the fact he keeps pulling these games out at the end. And again, that's the belief the team has in him, and he has the ultimate belief, and he's doing it. And he stepped up, and he took care of the question we had about the first Packers game and throwing that interception. Well, he came back and won this game. It's just, I still can't believe it. And Olin, like you said, there's so many things that had to go right. But that's just belief, man. We played in 2 games like that back-to-back. The Browns game and the 49ers game. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about, getting the onside kick. I think it was Bobby Howard recovered one of them in one of the games, and we went on to go on, I forgot which one it was, to go on and win in overtime. But that's stuff you just believe in, and things fall your way when you have that belief and you have the players to do it.
Yeah, when you're watching that game the whole time, you're thinking, man, it's the first time I've seen the Chicago Bears out-coach this bad all year. And like Pat's saying, you got these storylines you're coming to the game with, but the whole time you're sitting there watching and thinking this team has not quit on itself all year. And they just seem to find a way at some point. At some point they find a way to get back into the football game. And Dennis Allen's plan that didn't look great, the bend but don't break, is what keeps them in the football game. Cairo Santos, you want to talk about unbelievable. I mean, Pat, you tell us the field goals he made. You tell me about those field goals he kicked. Usually, I don't even know if he'll make a 40-plus field goal. Now he decides the wind's just got to be crazy for this guy to be locked in. And Pat said pregame, Pat said, I just believe in clutch moments. He'll still get the job done. I remember I was thinking, that was ringing in my head, Pat, when he was making those kicks. And I kept thinking, if they win this game, it'll be because Cairo kept them in the game when they shouldn't have been.
Yes.
Right? When they had bad plays on offense, they backed up. I think one time, I'd have to go back and look, but one time the field goal he made wasn't at the intentional grounding, and they backed up to, like, I don't know what it was. But he made the field goal.
Yeah.
He made another field goal. Then he kicked the onside kick that they got. And then it's Blackwell again, who did that last week, right, on the special teams play at the 1-yard line when he downed it. Torrey Taylor with good kicks. Defense wasn't stopping anybody. All of a sudden, man, at the end of the game, Caleb told us that he remembers Michael Jordan's quote, and everyone talked about it, right? Mully, you asked us about it, and he said, I'm just going to keep taking that shot at the end of the games. And he threw that ball to DJ Moore, and he drops it in the bucket, man, and DJ Moore catches it with the defender on his back. And I can't remember, being an analyst, a funner year that I've been watching the Chicago Bears fight every game. And the fact that, here's the thing, say whatever you want. They're 11-4. Say whatever you want. They're on top of the NFC North. Say whatever you want. And they're probably going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to the playoffs. I mean, 11 wins. It'd be really hard for them not to. Even if they don't finish the season strong, they have 11 wins, and they are right now a game and a half ahead of Green Bay. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, what a first year for Ben Johnson, right? I mean, you have everybody buying in him now for the future. You can always lean back on this year of, how to believe we can always win, right? So you're always going to be preaching that to your team. But I'll go back to Cairo real quick because I do want to talk about it. The reason why I believe in him is he's kicked in that stadium for a long time. And when you get there in December, it's hard. He's had a lot of games in there, and then I didn't realize it was going to be that windy the entire time. And he's been down there during the week to practice in it. He's played in a lot of games. It is not a fun place to play in December when the wind's blowing like that. And the thing is, you have to have a lot of confidence. Man, he hit a 46-yard cut, Olin, and a 51-yard draw. That's how good he is. He can make the ball move.
I don't talk about kickers, man, but I'm talking about him tonight.
I know, and he just that's what's
talking
impressive.
about him tonight. And Richard Hightower, take a bow, right? His special teams today, just fantastic. A really good game. And I apologize to the listener right now because usually I watch the game here to give you good feedback. I am not going to rewatch that game because they did not play good most of the game.
No.
Right? Maybe I rewatch it and talk about it Monday morning with Mully. But I'm just going to, if the listener doesn't mind, Pat and Mully, I'm going to enjoy the win. I'm going to enjoy the win. I don't want to rewatch three and more quarters of bad football from the Chicago Bears who found a way to win a football game. And I guess you just go back to, man, Cairo, right? The special teams and the defense keeping them out of the end zone, just keeping them from scoring touchdowns, whether it be, that first, fourth down stop down there or just on and on kicking, making them kick field goals, keeping the Bears in the game somehow. Tom was even talking about the mismanagement of the game clock there when they had to get on the field, Pat. I'd like to hear you talk about that and kick the field goal before the 2-minute warning. And it took a while, but I think it was a substitution. The refs just stood in front of him anyway, but couldn't get the ball off. And then they were forced with 2 timeouts to kick the onside kick. They're basically forced to do it. And they did it, and they recover it, and they hustled on there, get the ball, and then the offense finds a way to score 2 touchdowns all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I don't even know, guys, if you told this story over and over again, it didn't have the proof, it didn't have the video, I don't think anybody would believe you.
No, it's just we're lucky to see it, man. This is one you won't forget. This is one you'll not forget for a long, long time. I mean, especially it's the Bears-Packers. So this will go up there. It'll go right down as one of the better Bears-Packers games ever around. But and hopefully it ends up with a great season for the Bears. And you go look back at this one and you say, hey, remember that time we beat the Packers in overtime when you weren't supposed to do that? Oh, that was just unbelievable. So Olin, I'll break down that play real quick because that might be the first time I think I've seen Ben Johnson or his coaching staff mismanage time. And Olin, the point you said there about the referees, it could have been their fault. It could have been. I've been in those situations where they're taking too much time over the ball, where you're already hurried up to get ready to snap it. Happened against the 49ers one time before halftime, and I got yelled at by Lovey, and it ended up being it was the referees were not letting the ball be snapped. But what happens is on the sideline, the assistant special teams coach or the special teams coach will go to the long snapper, go to the kicker and holder, and say, listen, we have to get this ball off before the 2-minute warning. We need it off at 2:06 because you're going to have 3 seconds, 4 seconds for the ball to, after you kick it or whatever, the clock to run down. The other part is if you're the snapper or the kind of the leader of the team there, you go to the wings, the defensive players or the backups that come in as the wings and tight ends, and you tell them as well, because the O-line is already out there. So you have to run out there and basically relay to them that this is a Mayday situation or hurry field goal situation or whatever their code, hurricane field goal, whatever it is, so everybody knows to hurry. But to me, I don't know if that happened. I'm not sure if it was the refs because Cairo was taking his time too. But if that's what happened, if that is not what happened on the sideline, that needs to be fixed and communicated. But I don't want to talk about that, but that's just breaking down that situation. We need to be celebrating the win more than that. But that might be the first time I've seen Ben Johnson have an issue with the clock management, if that's what happened with his coaches.
I got to tell you, I thought early in the game, DJ Moore got hit in the back, and he had to go off and go in the tent. And for him, for that kind of symmetry of the cheap shot on him, and then he catches that touchdown at the end of the game, I felt like that. I mean, I was infuriated by that cheap shot on him. It felt like not since Charles Martin took Jim McMahon and picked him up and threw him. No one will remember that. Go to YouTube. It felt like that cheap a shot, okay? And for him to then catch that touchdown pass, I just thought it was beautiful symmetry. Just a wonderful thing that happened in that game. He took a really bad shot early, and he's there. He caught a pass, and he's in the huddle holding his back. I mean, good for him. He is tough as nails.
Mm-hmm. He is tough as nails, and he plays hard. And we talked about it going to this game that sometimes, Caleb, just let the ball go, man. DJ will go get it, right? And I know he had that drop that Tom Brady pointed out that he didn't expect the ball to come to him. But that catch at the end of the game, and like you're saying, Mully, I'm sure, he was battling some of that back problem that he had, right? He got hit, and he was grabbing his back a lot, and just a bunch of things they all ask him to do, whether it be catching swing passes, running the football, blocking. DJ Moore, just like the rest of this team, right? The identity, we talked about him in pregame how he hasn't won since high school, right? Just the identity of this football team, a guy who keeps fighting, maybe not make a play, but he's going to eventually make a football play, and they're replaying this throw where the last throw, Caleb's on one leg, and I don't know, he throws it like 60 yards. The guy's just nuts, man. But, and then, DJ Moore catches, and then Pat, like, you've been saying all week, we're saying pregame, be the best quarterback on the field, and I don't think he was most of the game.
No.
I don't think he was most of the game, no matter what Packers quarterback was in there.
Right.
By the end of the game, the Iceman cometh, right? The Iceman cometh. He shows up at Soldier Field, and you give him that football, man, he's going to find a way to get his team back in the game and run and use his legs. And I don't know, man, the guy's, it's always got to be interesting with him, right? He's got to slide before the first down marker and get it the next play. I don't know, man. I'm running out of things to talk about with this team. You go back through their one-win games, you don't even know what to say about what's going on.
Oh.
No, it is crazy. And Olin, the biggest phrase I ever hear you give to people is a football player, and that's what DJ Moore is, man.
Yeah.
He's doing everything. I mean,
What a
just
compliment.
when they zoomed in on him when he was offsides, I was yelling at the TV because they said number 2 wasn't set. Then Tom Brady's starting to explain where he's coming from, and the ball was snapped a little quick, and you just look on his face like, come on, man. Like, I'm trying to do everything. And that's who he is. He's a football player. He does do everything. And it's just, he has the 1 week where he doesn't catch a pass, and then these next 2 weeks, he's kind of the stars of the game.
The other thing is, and we're not gonna pick. It was a happy outcome. They had so many horrible penalties, like really bad, dumb penalties, like really the Brisker penalty when he hit Malik Willis was just like. I hope you're happy with that, or I hope you enjoyed it, because it just ruined the bloody game. I mean, there were so many moments like that in the game where they were doing things where you're kind of like, what is that? Now, I don't know about the Booker penalty. That I guess that is now a penalty, and back in the day that wouldn't have been a penalty. I know the rules have changed, but boy, did he get a lick on that quarterback, and he looked like he was on the canvas and gone. And then when he went out, you were thinking, well, that is, now they don't have their best defensive player, their best offensive player. I mean, we could go through the list of the people missing, and it didn't seem to matter, which was just beyond frustrating. And you're sitting there looking, as you say, LaFleur is actually winning the coaching battle, and obviously the defensive coordinator did a good job. You're just kind of like, this, you got to be kidding me. Like, they're going to lose the playoffs, the division, over something like that seemed so obviously in their favor. Well, I mean, the football god smiled upon them. What can you say?
I mean, it was the first play of the game, right? The personal foul and the kickoff.
Exactly.
I mean, so it's funny what a win will do, right? So I'm sitting there thinking that, I'm mad at those penalties as well, but when you win, it kind of changes the narrative. I'm like, man, they were just playing hard. Those were effort penalties, man. They were playing hard. They were playing aggressive. But the Brisker one was kind of dumb. The ones on Booker, they're questionable. That's an effort penalty, man. You can't get mad at those. I really cannot get mad at those. That's just, he's playing hard. Unfortunately, Malik drops his head a little bit. I mean, he knows to maybe go left or right and not hit him straight head on the head. But it is funny how the narrative changes on those penalties after a win, because we would have been talking really bad about them. And now we're like, I'm thinking, no, that's just effort. They're playing hard. But they came out with a lot of motion. They had 2 penalties early.
Yeah.
Booker had the roughing the passer, and
I
think it was the first series, right? So you had 2 personal fouls in the first 3 or 4 plays, but that's just a lot of effort.
What was DeMarco Jackson doing on that first play? I don't even know.
God! He got on top.
He was saying, I don't know if he was trying to grab his eyeballs, or I don't know what he was trying to do. And like Pat is saying, like, it's funny now, right? But at the time, it was like,
that was a good
gosh,
laugh.
the emotion has got to this Chicago Bears team that hasn't been in this situation a lot, right? It's kind of overwhelming for them, and you're watching this game go through all the penalties you're talking about. And the thing I saw that I haven't seen in a lot of Bears games, and the thing they can do, and Coach Ben Johnson has a chance now, and Coach Dennis Allen, and really their whole staff, is coach off of this, Pat, right? And people are going to be more accepting to the fact that, look, I didn't make a lot of plays there. And honestly, I saw more mental mistakes than I saw in the last 4 or 5 weeks. I saw D linemen who were supposed to stunt in the gaps when the Packers were. Austin Booker, I saw him one time take the wrong gap and not get in his gap and not rip under and feed the play to the blitzing cornerback. I saw the offensive line, Pat, miss a few blitzes, miss a few linebackers on run plays. So more mistakes than I saw for Chicago Bears. It made the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. But, Coach Hafley, you got to give him credit. And Coach LaFleur, they had a great plan, man. The Chicago Bears just found a way at the end of the day to come out with a win that most of the game, I mean, you guys can go look at the stats if you want. I don't want to read them, but at the most of the game, it just wasn't very good by the Chicago Bears, right? I'm not going to read the stats for our listeners. They can go look at it themselves if they want to see it. The only stat you need is we won and they lost.
Yeah,
Yep,
there's something about beating Green Bay too. As wild as it happened, just the satisfaction of that outcome with what this week meant to everybody, just unbelievable. I've got my phone is blowing up.
Can we talk about? I know we're gonna bring up something negative. The dumb call that Ben Johnson had on 4th and 1.
Oh my
God! Snapped the ball over Mononga. That was just too cute, man. Just way too cute.
Yeah.
That was another one that I thought would carry a lot of weight in the post game if they didn't pull that thing out.
Oh, yeah.
That
just a bad call. Them into submission. That was like,
yeah.
They stopped playing
it was,
after that.
And I think, if I remember correctly, at halftime, they said Coach Johnson said it was a bad call.
Yeah.
It was a bad call by me there, and I took the win out of my team's sails. And you know what I thought to myself when they said that, and obviously that didn't go that way until the end, into overtime, into the onside kick. I thought that's what winning looks like when a coach says that, right? Not like, I like to play and we just got to execute it. No, it was a bad call by me. I shouldn't have made that call. I should have handed the ball off to Mononga. I ran behind Jonah Jackson and Darnell, right? And took a 7-point lead right there. And then that's pretty simple, right? And let me tell you, as a center, when that play comes in, I'll run it. But I am not saying nice words about the head coach there by the goal line that he wants me to snap it to a running back through Cole Kmet's legs on a Cole Kmet cadence call. So obviously, I'm sure Dahlman wants to execute that, and he's the kind of guy who will say that. And I don't know about you, Pat, but I always think to myself, the least you hear about offensive linemen, the better they're playing. And I don't like to pump guys up too much, but I've been really excited and enjoyed watching Dahlman play this year. I think he plays at a high level. I think he does a nice job. I think he hustles down the field, picks up his teammates, seems to be a leader, seems to get the O-line controlled on the right guys, who they have to block, makes big blocks in games, end up being a really good signing by Ryan Poles. And just, man, at that moment there, you're thinking, why do that with your team's identity, with how physical they were on their first drive? But in Ben Johnson's credit, I don't got to say it. He said it.
Yeah, I got to give him credit. Olin, what I was thinking about was the December practices when we're out there in shells and helmets, and that play looks amazing. There's no contact. You don't have to come off the ball. You know what I mean? It's the execution probably looks great just because they're in basically no pads or whatever, and it's walk through tempo at that time of year. And then that's just not something you call at 4th and 1 in Soldier Field against the Green Bay Packers. That's what I was thinking of. It looked great in practice with no pads on.
Let's put a taller running back there. You know what I mean? I love Mononga. Love him to death. I love Mononga, man. But let's just put a little taller guy back there.
All right, we've got to take time out. The number is 312-644-6767. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are leaving the stadium, that are just in their houses, that are just in a tavern, whatever, enjoying their life. And like I said, my phone is blown up. I got friends from all over the country that are checking it. I think everybody watched that game, and no one can believe it. Just an extraordinary result. Olin, you said they won in overtime. I forgot it went to overtime. I mean, that's how shocked I am sitting here.
We couldn't even get Pat on the damn show. I don't know what the hell was going on.
I was running around my apartment.
I've never seen, Mully, I've known him since 1998. I've never seen him miss a thing. We're all rattled tonight. This is a crazy win, man. This was really just, and Pat, I know, it's like, reminds you of the Cleveland Browns and the San Francisco 49ers and Mike Brown, who we call Little Evil, right? Intercepting the ball and running up the tunnel and scoring. But this was versus the Green Bay Packers for the NFC North.
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Agreed.
And that
Absolutely
when that stadium went crazy, and you know who I'm starting to enjoy, man, is Tom Brady. You can see his personality coming out.
Yeah.
He doesn't want any calls for personal fouls. He loves the fights. He loves the football. He does a great job calling the game.
He sounds
and he
like
said,
you.
man, this stadium is going crazy, right? His stadium is
it
going
was
crazy. Anyway,
just
what a big win. And you know, Pat said pregame. He said, I feel like I'm a fan. Well, I don't know if I can feel any more like of a fan right now. And I'm trying to be an analyst and talk about the game and mention all the stuff that they did wrong. But, man, what a win for the Chicago Bears and the city of Chicago. And listen, forget about Indiana. Leave the Bears here.
You're listening to the football postgame show.
Tell Kevin Warren, call Governor Pritzker tonight. Call him tonight.